Man, that was a long tangent.
Well, that's the fun part about diarrhea.
Yeah, right?
So many great stories.
There's a couple of diarrhea stories I have. One was when I was a kid, 6 or 7, I believe.
Don't lie, this was last year.
No, there was one that was a lot more recent, but I'll get to that later. But when I was it was more like 5, I think. This is back in the day. You Zoomers probably won't understand where I'm coming from with this, but back in the day, there was a concept called the Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes.
Where you got up earlier than you would for school to see your favorite cartoon. For me, it was KTLA 5. That's where I saw all my favorite cartoons, like the Batman, the animated series Batman Beyond, Static Shock, Animaniacs, Historia. But anyways...
Fucking Historia. I haven't thought of that in a long-ass time.
Yeah, right? All I remember is that fucking egg baby that ran like a roadrunner for whatever fucking reason. But anyways...
It's easy to draw.
Yeah. I got up like 5 or 6 in the morning to see one of those cartoons. I can't remember which one. And I was lying down on the floor while watching the TV. And...
Were you eating cereal?
The cereal was on the side, yes.
Cereal was on the side.
But I was in my jammies and I had underwear on. And I was lying down and I thought, like, oh shit, the commercials already ended. They're about to start the show. I've been waiting for this one specific episode for 3 weeks now. I can't get up, and I have to really shit. So...
What to do?
I did what any sane, rational thinking 5-year-old would have done in that situation. I shat myself. It was not a pleasant feeling, because I had that happen again about 4 years ago, where when you shit yourself and lying down, the poop doesn't really have many places to go.
Nope.
So it's sort of
just around.
It sloshes. It doesn't pool in a pleasing manner. So I had to sit, or rather lay down in my own shit for 30 minutes straight.
Well, you didn't have to. You chose to.
God damn it, I had to. It was my duty as a kindergartner watching Saturday morning cartoons. I could. That's what these kids nowadays just don't understand.
So your Saturday morning cartoons is my porn in the woods?
I guess so. But mine actually exists.
Oh, okay.
The kids these days don't understand with the streaming and the iPads that there's no pause button, you know? it's shit and go.
If you want to watch your cartoons, you gotta shit your pants. It's just
only
how
the
it
truly
works.
dedicated.
Only the
Not for the
truly
faint of heart
dedicated.
or for the faint of intestines.
Now here's my question: Should we keep talking about poop, or should we finally move on?
One more story.
Oh boy!
It happened about 4 or 5 years ago when I had a fever, and
So you're in your late teens.
I'm 26 now, man.
Oh, so
Old enough to drink, old enough to shit myself. Except I wasn't drunk. I was inebriated on the flu virus.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
I fucking... It was nasty. It's when you get to a certain level in a fever where delirium starts really taking a hold.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So
Just to interject real quick, like my normal temperature is 97.5. So if I get a fever,
97.5? What the hell, are you a corpse?
Basically.
Or is it just that the heat from your blood doesn't get past most of the folds of fat.
I guess.
Because I noticed that's like I fuck a lot of fat chicks.
And they're warm to the touch, or they're cold to the touch?
Cold to the touch. Cold as ice. The blood does not get to most of the cellulite.
Gotcha. Yeah, so my normal temperature is about 97.5. So if I get a temperature that gets me up to like 99 to 100, I start hallucinating.
Yeah, I think that's what was happening to me. I started hallucinating. It might have been some sort of magic fairy that just landed on my shoulder and whispered into my ear so lovingly, "Shit yourself."
Oh, the poop fairy.
The poop fairy.
Leave a turd under your pillow, and the poop fairy will leave you a nickel. She'll give you an extra dime for corn. Oh man! What are you, me? You're dying.
I know.
Here.
I know. I don't even vape. But yeah, so I fucking I shit myself because of the poop fairy. He whispered into my ear to shit. So it was a flu shit too. So it was just all liquid, just flowed everywhere. It was just trapped in my boxers, you know, and I was just so flu ridden that I didn't get help for probably like 4 or 5 hours. I fell asleep in a pool of my own diarrhea, and this is on my bed too.
How lovely.
Okay, let's move on past diarrhea. We've been talking about it for about 20 minutes now, which is pretty amazing. But I said I like to fuck fat chicks, right?
So I've heard. I've never actually seen it.
It's not entirely true, but it's not entirely false.
You desperately want to. You just find them repulsive at the same time.
I guess so. I think it's more I like them as a concept than I do.
Yeah, it's like a fantasy.
Right. It's like communism, right? It's like it's a nice idea, but
in theory.
But when you get your elbows deep in it, then you're like, oh my god, is that a callus in between your cankle? Oh my god, why does your vagina smell that way? I didn't know humans could smell that way. Why does your fat roll out like that once you take your clothes off? You look a lot better with your clothes on. Can we just fuck with the clothes on?
Yeah, there's an option.
So,
that sounds like a good rap song. Fuck faggot bitches with the clothes on.
Yeah, fuck fat bitches with the clothes on. Get my flow on. Get my roll on. Damn, bitch. Get over here with that fat ass. Don't give me no sass.
You just keep going, huh?
So, I was on a dating website, and I matched with this gorgeous, what I thought was thick woman. Mm-hmm. She invites me to a barbecue. She says that she is
There's a hint.
She's
Skinny bitches don't invite you to barbecues.
Well, then what do they invite you to? Fasting?
Pretty much. Come and join me with having a salad.
No, come and join me in having no food or enjoyment in life whatsoever.
Pretty much.
She gave me the forewarning. I am a BBW fetish model. I'm like, ooh, baby, I like the way this is going. So I'm like, oh don't
what
worry,
do you know?
babe.
I
don't care about any of that stuff. I just think that you're beautiful, and we just spend some time together. I was like, it'll be fine, because it was a congregation of other BBW fetishes or fetishists. I mean,
okay.
So
a bunch of fat bitches at a barbecue.
They won't be that weird, right? Oh my god. So I get there, and she's about a little over 200 pounds. 200,
sure.
200 something, you know. She still looked pretty good, but a bit, chunky. But
sure.
She's Puerto Rican, so she was chunky in the right places.
Yeah.
But the people she was with, so
what do you mean? Explain.
Have you ever seen a centaur with half of its body cut off?
The top half and the bottom half.
I'm trying to find a way to. It's like if you cut a centaur in half, where it's like the left. If you're looking at it in profile, the left and right side, so you get half the horse off, right?
Yeah.
And it's just the rear legs, and then you take that other half and then you pile it on top of the other legs to make some sort of creepy bipedal creature.
Okay.
That's how one of the models looked. Her ass was a glacial shelf. It was like a huge fucking carry-on package for FedEx. It was just a box, and it just kept going.
And this didn't appeal to you for whatever reason?
I have finally found too much ass, my friend. I stared into the abyss.
The abyss.
It stared back at me. It was truly horrifying. When she said BBW fetish, I thought BBW, like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of BBWs. Like, maybe 250 pounds max, right?
Sure. Maybe.
Most of the women there were pushing 500.
Woo!
Who doggy is right.
That's some big women.
It was apparently a sect of the community called feeders.
Feeders?
Where they feed each other. Like, they have an enabler. They have some guy that gets turned on with their weight gain, so they give them a bunch of food to get them fatter, and that turns them on.
Okay.
So, I was at the portions were ridiculous, and I still somehow ate more than most people there. I just pack it away a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah, you're a skinny white guy, so.
Yeah. It'll catch up to me in 10, 15 years.
It sure will.
But there was this one feeder there that was like a fucking horse jockey. It's like he was trying to get his champion horse or something. He was this guy that was probably no taller than like 5'4", 5'5", and the girl he was dating was like 5'10" and like 500 pounds. The disparity was astonishing,
like
which is why I call him a horse jockey, because he fucking probably rode her like on top of her. Like I've never seen such a size disparity in a relationship. It was pretty amazing, and he got turned on just by the prospect, of feeding fat women and getting them fat. So he would be like, "Hey guys, I see you're all sitting in the pool like a few beached whales. How about we get you even fatter? Here's some desserts. Who wants pie? You want pie? Let me get you some whipped cream with that. Ice cream? Oh yeah." And so he would just keep ferrying food from the kitchen into the pool, so that way they didn't even have to expend the calories to get out of said pool to get the food.
Wow.
So he kept doing that, and then I was like, okay, it's time to beat this bass. Time to bring it onto the boat and smack it with an oar. So I said, hey, let's get out of here. Let's go to your place.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Yes, how we do it. And she was like, fine, okay. And we go in. I made some Hello Dollies. Not the.
What are those?
So they're not the workout where you spread your ankles like some
Thank
sort
you.
of.
As a Marine, I'm glad you clarified.
Some sort of whore. But rather, it's a very tasty but very sweet pastry. Not a pastry, but it's a baked good where it's coconut, condensed milk, chocolate chips, and graham cracker cuts. Yeah, it's very good. So I brought that to the barbecue. No one touched it because I don't even think they knew it existed. I guess that horse jockey guy put it in a weird place and was like, I want to feed them with the food I cooked, not this Adonis trying to muscle in.
Horning on my business.
So I start putting all the food away, and there he is preparing even more food. to feed these women. And he just looks at me with a glaring eye and a twinkle in his teeth and his eye. And he's like, oh, hey. So, how are you going to put it in her? And I'm like, sorry? The food. Because, you know, most normal people would think with that statement, my dick. What do you put in a woman?
Right.
My dick. I guess he sort of uses this as a surrogate. I don't know. But he uses food as a way to get inside women. So,
Sure.
I'm like, excuse me? Like, the food, those little pastries. How are you going to feed her? I'm like, are you going to sneak it in her while she sleeps? And I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't say anything. I just gave him the most cross death stare. Like, get the fuck out of my face, you fucking horse jockey weirdo. And
He's talking about food raping a woman. That's odd as hell.
food raping a woman.
How you gonna give it to her?
You gotta get it in her somehow.
Right. If she won't take it, you gotta give it to her.
Yeah. It's your job.
I mean,
And
they
like,
say they don't want it,
yeah.
but we know deep down they really want it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I gave him a
Why
death
else would
stare,
they
then he
dress
backed
like
off. But it's just like, there are people out there like this. And that's a little disconcerting.
Just a little. Huh?
I like my women thick, but
But you don't want to feed them.
I don't want to food rape them. I don't know.
That's-
It's like, I
that's
don't want to
good.
rape a woman normally, so what makes you think I'd want to food rape them? It's like, have you ever... It's exactly like that one Malcolm in the Middle episode. Have you ever seen that one?
I've seen them all. Which one?
Where Lois is pregnant and how...
Oh, that's right.
It's exactly like that. I'm sure the writer had that fetish. And he just found a perfect way to get it printed on film. Which is amazing. Congratulations. You're not the first to try and transplant your fetishes into a TV show or cartoon.
Right?
But-
That's SpongeBob.
Every show, almost. You could probably...
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that one new Powerpuff Girls episode where I think it was either one of the writers or the directors just made a self-insert so he could fuck Blossom. It was... Ugh,
That's odd.
to put it lightly. So, yeah, it's like that. The episode of Malcolm in the Middle that we're talking about, the mom gets pregnant, and the dad likes the way she looks, because she's getting rounder and more jiggly.
Because Hal's Hal.
And so I want to keep this train rolling, so I'm going to inject butter into your celery or put fucking heavy whipping cream in your coffee. That kind of shit. So she was gaining weight and she didn't know why, and it was, you know, ha. So, yeah, that's not parody, people. It's real life. That's the world we're living in.
That's the world we're living in.
But it's been a fucking monologue for me.
Important question, though. Did you fuck the girl?
Yes.
Did you feed the girl while she was...
No.
You missed out, man.
Apparently. No, she was really nice. I feel really bad for not calling her back, but
Calling her back. Why not?
I didn't want to be tied up in that community, and
She was fine. The community, not so much.
yeah, but it was also that she lived like 30 miles away, and she didn't want to take birth control, so
Oh, fuck that.
exactly.
Bail.
So I was,
Bail.
yeah. I asked her, okay, so do you take birth control? And she's like, no. All right, are you willing to get an abortion?
Nice to meet you.
No. All right, I
See ya.
guess I'll fuck you with a condom and then bounce.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. And then, yeah. Yeah.
I want my money back.